The reality is President Trump, in my judgment, is presiding over the erosion of American norms and institutions in a constitutional government that he's duly sworn to uphold. Nonetheless, let me be very clear. No president that I worked for, Republican or Democrat, ever had the kinds of conversations with an Israeli prime minister or summoned and marshaled up the pressure, both on Netanyahu and on key Gulf states, that persuaded Hamas that the hostages, which Yahya Sinwar, the architect of the October 7 terror surge, believed was his primary asset. They convinced Hamas, and I would argue Hamas was smart to accept that the hostages were becoming a liability, because as long as they held hostages, 20 alive, 28 tragically dead, the Israeli campaign would be relentless and no one would be able to constrain them. So why did this happen? It would not have happened. Again, let's be very clear. No Democrats have acknowledged this. I think it's symptomatic, frankly, of the problem in our politics. This happened because of Trump. It happened because he pushed Netanyahu. It's a very pro-Israeli deal, but the prime minister really did not want to go there. And he convinced the Qataris and the Turks, Hamas's key supporters, other than the Iranians, who aren't much value to Hamas these days, that it was in their best interest to give up the hostages. Whether this goes further is going to depend on the president owning this. You could have 100, I've been at these ceremonies in Sharm, in Cairo, everywhere. It's the morning after the peace conference that the real work has to start. And if President Trump is prepared to show the will and the skill that he demonstrated in pushing this over the line, you might even get to an end of the war in Gaza.
But Victoria, you got to shift from the me to the we on this at some point. I mean, you have all these posers in the region about the Arab Brotherhood and all this stuff. And, you know, Trump absolutely put his footprint on this, but there are going to be so many requirements. I mean, yes, I get why ADM says that this is there are advantages for Israel in this deal, but look at who Hamas got back. Look at how they're being dealt with as like a legitimate state actor. To me, there's a big win for them in this that they do not deserve. So when you look at how we got here and how it informs how you do get to this morning after reintroduction of process, what has to happen?
Well, I would actually agree that this is a big win for the United States, and I would draw the equivalency with the demise of Osama bin Laden under President Obama, where I think most Americans, I mean, I remember the Phillies were playing the Mets, and we all came together and chanted USA, USA, USA. And it didn't matter who the president of the United States was. The justice had been done for grievous harm to our country. And that's where I think we can all come together behind this. The release of the hostages, the resolution of that particular crisis in Gaza, between Gaza and Israel, that was the key thing that the president focused on right after President Trump did, right after re-election. I remember being in Jerusalem when his first statement came out, let them go. This burden is on Hamas. It was very powerful, and it got us to where we are today. So I agree with Aaron David that what is coming is going to be very, very difficult. They're very complicated. We've both been through 1 million of these plans. We're hopeful that we can get somewhere, but this just feels different to me this time because of the president bringing together the Arab world, Israel, and the United States.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.